and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming here today. Lovely turnout, and it's only what we've come to expect when we come up here to Leeds. You love your boxing, and I'm sure we're here announcing another tremendous occasion. 15th of June at the First Direct Arena, and it's going to be the second defence of the IBF title for the world champion Josh Warrington against Kid Galahad. Both the lads are here, of course, and we'll be hearing from both of them, and it promises to be another tremendous Leeds sporting occasion. And our promoter, of course, is Frank Warren, and it's got all the makings of something very special once again.
It has. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hosting our press conference here, and we've got a fight. I think this is something very, very special. Two undefeated fighters. It's a Yorkshire derby. Sort of plant our flags before we start. I'm very firmly here in the Josh Warrington camp. He's my man. He's like the challenger is over here with Dominic Ingle. He's his man, and I think we've got a real good fight in our hands here. I believe Josh Warrington is the best, by far the best featherweight in the world, in my opinion, and he proved that in his last couple of performances, beating real good quality top-line fighters. And done them in style, won in style. You know, there was no doubt in either of the decisions against Carl Frampton or Lee Selby. He is the best. They avoid him. Carl Frampton said after the fight, a few weeks ago after the fight, he said that Carl's the best he's fought. He said he used his words, he buzzed him a few times. And he went on to say that he felt he was a much better fighter than Santa Cruz. And I think he's a better fighter than Valdez. They're the fights that he wanted. This fight was ordered by the IBF. Kid Galahad has got there by obviously his winning record and winning an eliminator, so he got himself in a mandatory position. I'm sure he's going to give all he can to take that title back to Sheffield, but I just feel that in the fight he's taking on with Josh, I think he's going to be having to really step up quite a few bars to get to this level.
Frank, before we turn to the 15th of June, and tickets incidentally for that fight going on sale via the arena from Friday, so don't waste time getting in for those. But those two fights, first of all that phenomenal occasion at Elland Road, and then moving on just before Christmas and a tremendous encounter in Manchester at the Manchester Arena. In your career, when you look back over the years, how highly did those two fights rank?
Well, they're well up there. I mean, you know, at the time, I think a trade newspaper and a lot of journalists felt that Lee Selby was not just the best in his division, they felt he was the best fighter in Britain. Well, you know, then he became the best fighter in Britain, Josh, by winning that fight. And he won it well. He outfought him, beat him in every department, beat him boxing, beat him heart-wise, beat him punch power and everything. And he went on to, I think, to really confirm that by his win over Carl, which was a very exciting fight. And I think those fights, and certainly his last fight, is one of the best fights I've seen in a British ring for a long time.
Well, I remember you saying after the fight in Manchester, a lot of people were saying, surely that's fight of the year. And you were kind of saying, fight of the year, it's the fight of any year.
Yeah, without that. I mean, how competitive is it? And, you know, the tempo that it was fought at. You know, Josh has got this, I don't know, what, you know, engine inside him. It's unbelievable. The work rate, the amount of punches he throws, it's all down to his, you know, this tremendous fitness level he's got, and this desire and this will to win. And each time it's brought him through. And it's brought him through in style. He's not just nicked fights, he's won the fights. He's emphatically won the fights.
And a great tribute to, I think before we hear from the fighters, we'll hear from the trainers. I'm sure there'll be a bit of side-to-side exchanges as the conversation unfolds. But it's a huge tribute to where Josh is, the work that he's put in alongside his dad, alongside Sean, who has proved himself to be a top-ranking trainer.
I think, you know, there was two trainers last year who've done tremendously well, you know, above everybody, and I think those two trainers were his dad, Sean, without a doubt, and I also thought Ben Davison done a tremendous job with Tyson. But you look at, you know, where Tyson was. He was a world champion, and where he's at. You look where Josh, and I mean this with the greatest respect, he was the sort of unfancied guy in the division. His dad's done a tremendous job, and it's a great partnership, and and he deserves the accolades, more accolades than anybody over. As far as training is concerned, he's done a marvellous job, and everybody in the trade knows that. They know that what Sean's done is a brilliant job.
And while we're talking about accolades, I mean, a succession of fighters for many, many years now have come out of that gym in Winkerbank, where Dominic holds fort. Of course, originally Brendan's gym, and it is one of the great boxing stories what the Ingle family have achieved up there.
Well, it has. Brendan was a friend of mine and obviously he's passed away now, but he leaves his legacy, and he's been involved with some of the big names and great names of British boxing. And ironically, that featherweight division with Naz all those years ago. But everybody's got respect for Dominic. He's a top quality trainer, and he's done tremendously well. He looks after a few fighters that I promote, but he's going to have to pull every stop out to get the kid over the line here, in my opinion. He's going to have to be something very, very special to beat this guy. He's sitting to my right here because he is a special fighter.
Dominic, before we go on to the fight itself, I know that Naz was a big influence on Barry, Kid Galahad, coming here and being in your gym in the first place, and he came along as a young lad in pretty much the same way that Naz did all those years ago.
There's a story behind that. It'll unfold, in the weeks that building up into this fight. But Naz had left the gym. We weren't particularly on good terms with Naz, and he bumped into Barry and said, "Listen, if you want to be a world champion, the only place to go is the Brendan England gym in Sheffield," and that's where he ended up. And this fight on the 15th of June is going to be 14 years hard work, put into this fight. And Naz has been down, he's seen Barry. We obviously had comments, and he's watched Josh. We're not going to tell you what his opinion is, but it's some good positive words. And he said, "You're fighting. We know Naz Frank character." Yeah. And he says, "Make sure you look after my old belt when you get it." And Barry says, "Yeah, I will do." And we've had a good couple of conversations, we've had the tactics and everything else. So it's going to be interesting. I think Naz is going to be there on the night. It'd be great if he did.
I'm sure he'd be there. He said the same thing to me about.
Yeah, that's what Naz does. Be hedging his bets, Frank. Be hedging his bets.
Barry, tell us about the influence that Naz had on you as a young lad and thinking about coming into boxing.
Good cheat! Good cheating bastard!
Well, keep going. Well, get it out while you can. Keep going. Any more? Any more? Go on, a bit more. Get it all out at the beginning, and we can get on with press conference. Any more? Right. Well, keep it shut then. You know what you're talking about.
Whoa, Barry!
We might go back to that.
We'll go back to that just for you,
Let's talk about what we asked the question about, and about the importance of Naz. We won't be having a press conference at all if you carry on like that.
One minute, John.
Calm it down, let him get on, yeah.
Sheffield United beat Leeds the other day. Oh, right, so that's one down, 2 to go. You know what they said? Pipe down. Keep it going.
Right, gentlemen, let's do the press conference.
Hopefully these have got an ice hockey team we can beat.
As I was saying, Barry, the importance of Naz to you as a young lad.
Yeah, when I first met Naz, I met Naz in the local mosque, and he said to me, "If you want to be a world champion, you need to go and find the Ingle gym, find Brendan Ingle, and he'll make him into a world champion." The rest is history.
And it's been a long journey since then.
Yeah, it's been 14, 15 years. I've been training every day, hard at it, and we're finally here.
You've wanted this fight for a while, and I guess, as they were talking about, as Josh was talking about fighting in America, you must have thought maybe it wasn't going to come, at least not yet.
No, I knew, the IBF are very strict, so I knew this fight was definitely going to come. I remember when Frank said in one of the interviews, "Alright, you're right at the bottom of that list."
That's right.
Right at the bottom of the list, and look where I am now.
Well, you're there
at the top of the list.
You're there by obviously.
Yeah, the man does it.
By doing what you had to do.
There was a lot of complaints from his team saying, "Oh, he's ate his little finger," and complaining about his 35% split and this and that. And don't matter, does it? It's destiny. I'm here now. And I'm going to rip that title away from him in his hometown. Just like, when Nassim Ahmed boxed Robinson, remember when Nassim Ahmed boxed Robinson? And there was 40,000 in there. And they ripped it.
What's not of a witch,
It's going to be the same.
There was 15 in there, and he must have been at that time, I think about 30 to 1 on favourite.
It wasn't 30 to 1, he was the underdog on that one, he moved up, didn't he?
Well, no surprise. But I'll tell you something, you're going to have to surprise everybody to win this one.
How much does it worry you, the fact that when it comes to fight night and in all the press conferences between now and then, you're going to have to cope with this?
What, this handful of people screaming?
It comes with the territory. It comes with the territory.
It's called a Smith & Wesson, not a Western, mate. It's called a Smith & Wesson. There you go. Save the fortune in air quotes. Fortune.
If you want to be a champion, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do.
Let's get back to the press.
Sean, what's your thoughts about this fight coming up, and about Kid Galahad as a fighter, as a boxer, as a man?
Well, I like him. I've known Barry a long time. We've known him right from amateur days, and we've crossed paths before. And quite rightly, as he said, this is professional. And to be fair, I think he should have stayed in amateurs because he's not going to lie. And I say that with greatest respect, John, to be honest. I don't like him. I know Don's a very good trainer, but I just think it's just too big a step for him. I really do. And I won't, saying that, don't mean I'm going to take this lightly, because we'll be training like we're a challenger, as we always do. So we won't hold anything back, we won't be taking him lightly. We'll just prepare as we always do now. Be 100% focused, switched on, and we'll be coming away and still.
That's why the original date was in May, and that's why we really ain't complained about it being extended. We know Josh, we know he hadn't hurt his hand, but we don't want to be beating a kid who's not fully prepared, do you understand? So we've allowed an extra 6 weeks just to make sure he can get in shape. So there's no excuses, there's no complaints, do you understand? We want the best Josh Warrington on the night, yeah? That's what we want. And hopefully we're going to get it. So we don't mind the 6 weeks extension or whatever. He's got a good 12 weeks. We know he's been out with lads, had a bit of, a bit of a party. Probably had a bit too much. But we want the best Josh Warrington.
And you're going to get him.
We're going to get him.
I promise you I'll be bringing the very best Josh Warrington on that day.
Good.
And we've
Absolutely.
We've got a great song for Barry to come out to. One Step Beyond.
That's it. It's a good song. It's a good song.
Let's hear for the first time from the IBF champion of the world. You've heard a little bit here. You're in front of your own people. Josh, what do you reckon for this fight coming up?
First of all, thank you for turning out, as always. Great to see you all. It's been a while. We had a good year last year, didn't we? 2 massive fights, 2 massive occasions. The support since has been absolutely fantastic and continues to do so. You've got to give it to Barry how daft he is. You can't help some of the stuff.
It's destiny.
Bollocks with your destiny. Do you know what I mean? During the 6 week, can you see from me how bad I am? I don't know, mate, but you make your bench line and you're going to get it that night. It's simple as that. I wanted to, I made it known, I wanted to carry on the journey, carry on winning belts, keep winning titles, fighting the best of the division. Especially after last year, we had like Leeds, Carl Frampton, and now we've got fucking Baddy from Sheffield, you know what I mean? They just don't have the same old ring to it, but we start another chapter. And I want to go and unify the division. I believe I'm best featherweight in the world, and if they offer me the Leo Santa Cruz tomorrow, I'd take it with open arms. But as a champion, this is what you've got to do. You've got to defend your belt against all challengers. And June 15th, Barry's in the way, and he's in for a very hard night. Let me just put it that way. And that's how I stayed in Leeds, and like I say, the journey will continue.
How highly do you rate him, Josh? Because he's awkward.
I keep hearing this persona, it's awkward, and it's a dirty fight, he's strong, is this, and I've been in one from all, John, to be honest with you. When you look down, you break it down, it's not as awkward as people make out. When you know how to work it out, it's awkward if you're giving him time, or you look at the level of opposition we've always been in with. We're stepping up a level here, and to me, I don't find him awkward. Whatever he wants to do, if he wants to go on the back foot, try box me, try kick away, if he wants to stand and fight, either, I'm happy for anything. We've already got a few game plans, we've already noted on a few things, and he's in for the day on June 15th.
Dominic, how do you win this?
Oh, difficult question, John.
I am on the drugs in Darnold.
Very, very difficult, very difficult. Josh Warrington, we keep hearing about this engine he's got. He's got this engine. But you need more than an engine in boxing. And if Josh Warrington has got this engine, well, Barry is the Tesla version. Do you understand? He's smooth, he's fast, he's quick, he's economic. And that's what's going to be going on. Wait a minute, Josh. Wait a minute. While you were talking, we all listen because we want to see what you're saying. So what I'm saying to you is, I want to listen to what you got to say.
Oh, sorry,
right, so if you can talk if you want. I'll just stop. So what do you want to say? What do you want to say? Come on.
What you're going off there, you said this Tesla engine. What have you got to prove there? What have you got to show?
Well, what we're seeing, everybody's seeing your strength.
Well,
supreme fitness.
Well, it's been
fitness doesn't win fights. Look at the weekend. Look at the weekend.
John O'Carroll boxes.
The easiest fighter to beat is somebody who walks into shots. That's what you do. Luckily, you had two fighters, Frampton and Lee Selby, who really were past the sell-by days. We spotted Lee Selby. We spotted Lee Selby before he got fight. And he wasn't the fighter that he was supposed to be. So that's good. It's good for you because you beat two names. And you beat Frampton, who already had the stuff he knocked out of him twice. So we'll see, won't we? We've got the plan. We don't need a couple of plans.
Are you fighting
one.
for him?
No,
I don't fight for him. You're confident, aren't you?
He's better than me. He's better than me at fights. It's like saying your dad's going to fight for you. So all I'm saying to you, you're the only person, Josh. Right? All these kids you've got convinced you're going to beat Barry. You're the only one who knows it's going to be an hard fight because you already sparred him, you already boxed him. So you can convince all these people here, but you know when you step into that ring, it's not an easy fight. You wanted to avoid this fight, you made every move to box everybody else. Right? You wanted to box bigger names and other world champions because what have you got to gain by beating Barry? Nothing. It's easy to lose against a champion. You can say, well, I boxed the world champion, but to get beat by this kid, you will not be able to hold your head up in Leeds again. And that's what's going to happen. So, Roland's going to be great. Roland's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic.
You what? How long did it take you to pick that up? Fucking great, to pick little scripts there, your little script.
Just rolls it off your tongue, it's easy. You see, if you put your sentences together as well as your punches, you'd be alright, but you don't. Do you understand? You put your punches together better. So we'll see.
Without training, we'll make a fortune.
You're not on the same level.
At risk of lighting the blue touch paper, we've already had it shouted out from the top, and there's other people who've been shouting it out as well. There was the 18-month drug ban. Now, before you Josh, hang on, guys. All right, hang on, let me continue. Josh in the past has said some pretty damning things about that, and Carl Frampton said that he hopes that Josh beats the shit out of him. That's a direct quote. That's a direct quote. And that was said on BT television. Now, Josh, what have you got to say about that 18 months out now? Now that you've got the fight and you're ready to fight him, what do you say about the fact that he had that ban?
I've made it pretty clear already. I've already seen comments from Barry himself saying, it's his opinion. It's not opinion. It's fact. You got banned from the sport Well, for drug cheating, this sport is hard enough. People go in the line, people go in the ring, putting their lives on the line. Some people don't come out, unfortunately. You know, people's lives change. Last thing we need is people trying to take a little inch by cheating. You know, the sport doesn't deserve it. It certainly doesn't. And you know, he's been given the green card to be allowed to box again. And the way that he behaves and conducts himself, his arrogance, his bad mouthing, he makes no remorse about the fact he's been banned. It's like shrug his shoulders. So what? The sport doesn't need people like that. We need characters, we need entertainers, but we don't need people like Barry.
Josh, if you're only remorseful for something you have nothing to do with, you can't be remorseful for something you denied. So why would you be? So that's how it is. So did his time, and that's the rules. I don't say crosses. He got banned, did his time, he came back, got himself back into the position. So what's the problem? You can't have what's the problem? Don't cheat in the first place. Don't cheat in the first place. If you admit it, then admit it.
Cheating is cheating. No, cheating. Cheating is cheating. Simple as that. It should be easy for you.
Don't do it in the first place. It should be very easy for you then. If he's got to where he has by taking drugs, it should be an easy fight. Because he's getting tested all the time. Do you understand? So that'll take away his advantage. Right? He's got one. But unfortunately, in the last 5 years, he's been drug tested regularly on a regular basis and not failed one. So what are you going to say then when he beats you? What's your excuse going to be? If you need an excuse, that's a good excuse. Do you understand? So that's what it comes down to.
Dominic, let's hear from Barry.
Desperation.
On this point,
It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. We're here to talk about.
please.
It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. We're here to talk about it doesn't matter what's happened in the past. We're here to talk about his future. So it doesn't matter what's happened in the past.
So you can look at Josh and you can look at all the people here now and say that for this fight coming up in June, you're going to be absolutely 100% clean.
100% clean. 100%. Let's just hope he's 100% clean as well. Keep up that marching powder.
Right. The fight.
He knows.
The fight itself, Barry. How do you win this one before we go into any further into the depths of unfounded allegations?
You can't. You can't win this on Fancy Island.
I am better than him in every single department. Everything he does, I can do better. I think his best asset is people underestimate him. Because it looks crap when you watch him fight, it looks crap. It looks crap. And that's it. When I go in there, he's going to be this and that, but he's not, he's actually better than he looks. So when we get in there...
He's the best supporting crap fighter I've seen. This is going to be a sellout. You're going in the Lions Den, so you better...
It's the only way, Frank. It's the only way. The Lions Den is the only way. It's the only way.
What do you mean it's the only way?
Because that's the best way to do it. Of course it is. All the pressure on you, Josh. You've got all the time behind everyone.
I've never dealt with that. I've never dealt with that.
Go and ask Lee Selby and Carl Franks and how he deals with pressure.
Yeah, simple.
So, do you know what, Frank? We do that, but I don't think they talked about it. Lee would, but not Carl. He's a bit bitter.
So he says that he's better than you in every department. Yeah. What do you reckon to that, Sean? Better than your son in every department?
Well, I don't know what to make of it there. Listen, it don't matter what gets said, does it? We can sit here all day arguing, but he knows that nobody can get in there and speak for him or fight for him or do anything for him up there. You can go in there with best game plan in the world. It's a different carry on in it when it comes to that fight. We know that. He knows that. You know, and as far as this drugs thing, it's been and done his time. Michael Jackson got not guilty, but he won't let him fucking get it.
Josh, you've been very quiet. You've been very quiet for a few minutes. better than you in every department.
And the joke department.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah, better than in every department. Listen, he's confident in himself, but I think I've proven in the last couple of recent fights that I'm a world champion for a reason. Reaching my peak years, everyone knows I've got a high work rate. I've been able to adapt to every certain opponent. I can stand and trade with anybody who wants to, and I can also box. He's just talking himself into his own belief. With his little ball cheerleader on the end, but that's all he's got. And when he walks out into the arena, which is, people have been there. Some people can hack it, some people can't. But I won't know. He's only boxed in around in front of 20 odd people before, and actually wants to support him. And when he's in there, he'll know then. Like I say, everyone can blow smoke up his backside in his own gym. But on the night when we get down to it, and it's the nitty-gritty and it's just me and him, then like I say, I'll fucking find out.
What sort of a lift do these guys give you, Josh, when you get out in front of your fans, who are perhaps certainly among the most passionate in the country? How much as a fighter does that lift you to another level?
I suppose it's a massive adrenaline rush. It's what we live for. The fight night I walk to the ring and just being around the fans and the build up to fight week. It's something special. The fan base is forever continue to grow, and for me, I feel like I repay the fans by giving them a top-notch performance on the night, and they've supported me, through thick and thin, and it's all about creating memories from now on. I want to go on to unify the division and go worldwide, and it starts here. We're just going to have an enjoyment with this one, enjoy the build-up, have a laugh, and like I say, on we go.
Are you going to be able to cope with that sort of wall of sound when you go out into the arena here in Leeds?
Well, it is what it is. If you want to be a champion, it's what you got to do. Whatever they chuck at you, you've got to.
And if this is the best you've got, John. This is the best you've got.
This is only a very small part of it. There's going to be 12,000 people in there, and you won't have been in that kind of atmosphere against you before. Are you confident you can cope with that?
I'm more than confident. I know he knows. I know he knows that I'm going to lift him. I know that.
I'm sure that's a song in it. I know he knows a song.
It is.
Oh, we're getting old now. These guys are only here because they've called in on the way to sign on, a lot of them, It's not a proper turn out, you know what I mean?
It's good to have fans, Sean. It's good to have fans.
I know. They're good lads.
That's why we're all getting a big payday out of this one, aren't we?
Yeah,
Probably Josh is probably not getting as much as Barry. He's probably getting the shit end of the stick, but we're getting a good payday. I know what you're getting, but we're getting a good one.
I know you'll be getting
hand. Oh, there he is. I'll tell you what, come downstairs, we'll have a little chat. Here he is.
Right, let's keep this sensible. Let's keep this sensible. Stop it. Give it a rest.
Fucking hell, it's the Dom Engel show.
Normally at this stage we ask for questions from the audience.
Can we have some questions?
Any sensible questions from the audience?
There's no chance, right, John? There's no chance. There's no chance.
Yes.
Barry, you fought him twice as an amateur and you didn't win.
Yeah.
What's going to be different this time? This like 10 times better is a world champion and you couldn't beat him then. So how are we going to beat him now?
The questions, he's beaten him as an amateur. How's he going to beat him now as a professional? How's it different?
The difference is about 15 years, isn't it? That's what the difference is. When I boxed him, I was boxing for about 6-7 months, maybe a year. So So, you know, now 15 years behind me.
Am I hearing voices? Or just everybody hearing the same thing?
Let's get back to the answer questions. Go on, carry on.
Go on, carry on. Okay. Any more? Yeah.
You're not pressed.
Yeah, carry on.
Josh, your obvious underdog beat, well, in your last two fights, Frampton and Selby.
Yeah.
Do you think it's dangerous having like this attitude that it's an easier fight and that you're not going to quite, you know, train quite as hard just in your mentality, or how are you going to get through that?
I never look at any fight as an easy fight just because you've got an opponent in front of you. And the way that I look at it, he's trying to stop me on my journey, whoever it is.
Yeah.
So I've, like Johnny's just said then, I get into the gym and focus just like I'm a challenger. And a day on my road to getting to a world title, I had people in front of me who, when they were fighting on Leeds Arena, I was often the favourite, but I still had to beat them then. And now I've set my goal on unifying the division. On the road to that, I've got to beat people who put in front of me. I was just one of them who's put in front of me, so like ever, train as hard, you know, work on certain tactics and you know, go into this one fully focused as just like ever. So,
Any more?
Yeah. Who would you like to defend your world title next after beating him?
I would have made it clear, you know, I'd go to top of tree, you know, Santa Cruz. He's #1 Ring Magazine rankings, and yeah, like I say, I believe I beat him. He shared 24 rounds with Carl Frampton, and he never left a mark on Carlo like what I did. So yeah, that's a fight what I will take open arms.
Do you believe you're the best featherweight in the world at the moment, Josh?
I do, mate, yeah. I'm very, very confident at the minute. You know, you look down the division and you look at both fighters and you think how would they beat you, but I don't see anybody as a real threat, and like I say, I just believe, put me in ring with them, I'll beat them.
Next.
Yo.
Yeah.
Nick Manners, listen, kid, all due respect for getting to where you've gone.
Careful what you say, Nick, because if you slang us off too much, you're never coming down to our gym again, pal. Understand? We're never going to let you through the doors.
You'll always let me through the door, I know that.
We've even had a spy in the camp, look. We've even had a spy in the camp.
I just came to see what Leeds there, I didn't see what watch this. Kid, what are you going to do after? Because I know that you've dedicated your life to getting to this point. But, no, let it up to yourself. Alright, watch this, Barry. I don't think you realise that you're going to get beat up, and at the end of the day, what are you going to do afterwards? Have you got something lined up? Have you got something afterwards?
Listen, we're not going to lose. You can go back to being a dentist technician. That's what you do. After you get to beat, you can go back to being a dentist technician.
Millionaire dentist.
Nick. You've been in that gym a very long time. You know, Nick. You know the crack, Nick.
I know.
You might say this and say that, Nick, but you know, Nick.
I've seen your bombers, and you're none of them.
Well, obviously I'm not, man. I'm Barry.
You're not on that level.
I'm none of them, I'm Barry.
You're the best out of
Any questions for the press now?
Enjoy the experience.
No problem.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Down here, yeah.
Josh, where are you at with your hands? Because obviously the face had to be delayed slightly. How's it feeling and what condition?
Yeah, it's getting back to full strength now. For about 6 weeks.
It's just managing to get around a pint. Yeah? Just getting around a pint, get a good grip of the pint. So you're alright. You're alright, come the fight.
Go on,
Don't
Josh.
come with your hands.
Well, funny that, wasn't it?
Sorry, Phil, I got sidetracked then by wanking on the end. Yeah, it's just, it's getting there, mate. Yeah, it's alright. It's with his right hand. I do everything with right hand. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just getting back to full strength now, and full training will be shooting very soon.
Is there something I don't know about it? We've got Pike's marching band. What the fuck's going on?
The celebrations are sorry, I've been too long. Apparently.
Right, any more? Any more?
Yes.
Congratulations on getting this far. Do you genuinely show any remorse for having achieved?
No.
You're not remorseful for things you hadn't done. I didn't ask you, Dom. I didn't ask you, Dom. You have to admit it. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you. So forget it. Forget it. it's a mute point. It's done. Forget it.
Looks like you can't.
Where's the time? At the end of the day, we don't want any excuses. When Galahad beats him, we don't want any excuses. Do you understand?
We don't think it was tea.
Alright?
Sean's trying to get a word in here.
John, just stick your hand up, kids back, see if it still works, because it's like a puppet here, as they say, you know what I mean? It's like, let him have a word, Dom. Fucking hell.
Should be a punching Judy, innit? Punch Judy, that's what it'll be. Yeah.
You got anything more you want to say about that? It's all in the past, move on. Okay, more questions, please.
I've got one for Barry. Yeah, I've seen in your interviews many times, and like since this fight's come about, that my dad's going to get really frustrated and pull me out in an all emotion rage. Where the fuck do you get that from? If you don't know me, old fella, you know that woman pulling me out. There's no way that's going to happen. I've never been rocked. I've never been hurt. It's not going to happen. Where do you get that from?
Never.
Don't answer that.
Let me just tell you. You might have never been rocked yet, but when we fight, you can get rocked.
Right.
You're very emotional, man. Right, very emotional, man. Okay. Look at you. Yeah. You're wound up over nothing.
I'm not. You're a psychologist.
I can tell.
Right.
Look at you.
You look like you got caught.
You're a space raider.
Any more from the floor? Any more from the floor? Last one. Last chance. No? Right, well the guys are going to be here to do face-to-face photographs, which will be interesting. And as well as that, interviews for you guys who are around who brought your recording equipment, and for the newspaper people as well. And final word on what promises to be another tremendous night here in Leeds has to go to the promoter, Frank Warren.
Tickets, it's going to be a good fight, no doubt about it. The Battle of Yorkshire, be there, see a great fight.
Tickets on sale on Friday, and we'll definitely see you at press conferences between now and then. If not, we'll see you on the night.
I'll quickly add to that, get down to this one. It's going to be a good occasion as always, and it could be a few years so we go back to Leeds. So
Frank, what time?
Make sure you get down there.
What's the live time for the fight?
Live time, around 10 o'clock.
Right, 10 o'clock. Yeah, make sure you're in no later than 10 past, because you'll only go 3 rounds when he knocks him out. Yeah?
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. Fight's going to be just as entertaining as well, I'm sure, as the press conference.